I heard you say, you know, about open booking. One thing that my brand has for hybrid that a lot of the other brands don't do in hybrid, or a lot of other friends don't do anymore, is since I own it, I go old school, meaning I open book. I don't do that pre-book bullshit because that's not the way that the OG do it. We do it open book, do it on the fly. Everybody's booked. That doesn't, and that's how it's going to remain in Abyss. Never going to be pre-booked. Never going to have anybody waiting for a match. If they're there, they're going to be used. They're going to be fighting, no matter what the time is. I will make sure in Abyss everybody fights, and that is a solid goal promise that I keep plan on keeping in in Abyss. I can't speak on the other two brands because that's not my not my jurisdiction. Like, no offense to Alex because he owns Mayhem, and no offense to Wayne because he owns Dynasty. But the way they do it with the pre-books is, in my opinion, and again, no offense, stupid. So I I just want to say facts and get that out there because I believe in the old school way, and I believe pre booking is stupid because of the multitude of factors that you have to pray to God that people show up and people make it to the show because there's a whole instance in world wrestling where the people you tend to pre-book don't show. Like there's a match last night for Mayhem. Well, let me get the script because I want to, be about this. Let me pull up the script here. It was the fourth segment after my match with quote Alden Cena and Youthful Caleb, who both did not show. No heat to both of them, but I'm calling them out because they're lazy ass motherfuckers who don't show up when they're supposed to. And were they found? No. Did they show up anyways? No. The fourth segment was a women's match. Rachel Sparkle versus Sakura Kim. Rachel did show, but left halfway through, and Sakura Kim was nowhere to be fucking found. See, this is why I don't fuck with that pre-book shit. Because sometimes I do show and they leave midway through. And then others, they're just nowhere to be fucking found. So that's why I believe, and I said no disrespect to you, Wayne, but your way of doing it is fucking stupid. That's why I prefer the old school route, of so many different things of the old school way. Free book, play around with the roster that shows up in the game, and reward those who show up to the game. Except they don't show up, fuck them. If they're not going to show up, why bother? And if they don't show up for a month on at a time, we old schools used to. We get rid of their ass. We strip them of their fucking belt if they have one, and we ditch them. We throw them out of the fucking company. And if they do it again, permanently exiled from the company if they do it again 3 times. So, honestly, that's going to be why, in my personal opinion, and I'll say it one more time, no disrespect, but I believe Abyss will be the superior brand of hybrid. And I want to put that out there because that's what I personally believe as your ways of running your brands or your specific ways, but I believe are the lesser way of doing it while my way of the OG way is superior, far superior than the new gen way. Personal opinion. And yeah, I just figure I get that out there.
Yeah, the only thing about that is with booking. Thing is, when you're booking the matches, some people never show up, so they'll show up once and never show up again. So you have that problem of champions not showing up or certain superstars just not bothering. That's why I prefer pre-booking because you book the talents you trust to turn up, the ones that turn up every single week, coming to every single show. So that's why I prefer pre-booking instead of your style of booking.
I respect your decision. I respect it. But let me ask a little question to counteract that claim. Right? What happens if the person you book doesn't show? Like the people that you pre-book and that you trust will be there, but they don't show. What would you do then?
Don't book them again. Like there's a reason you don't pre-book the same person that never shows. I haven't been in charge of the booking. Yeah, I just do the pre-books. Now I have control of Dynasty. Now I can actually book matches. So the people who actually react, I make sure they turn up. If they don't, then of course they're never gonna be trusted again.
Uh,
Hmm.
for me personally, this is just my personal preference. I would just usually do a replacement. I would just say, let's move forward to a next match that actually happens instead of just waiting for the people to show up.
Yes. Similar thing happened with last night. Jaden Cole was not actually meant to come out like that, but we had a last minute change of plans since XIG didn't even turn up, neither did NM Punk, so we just
Well,
had a
I
match
mean,
between.
Jaden Cole was supposed to come out, but he was supposed to come out in a tag team match, but the tag team didn't show up. That was the thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Jaden Cole
that.
appearance was indeed
And that
pre-planned, but the the one-on-one match that
and
wasn't really planned because we didn't really have, they didn't show up. So yeah.
and that's where my biggest complaint comes in because you see where I'm going with this. You pre-book somebody that you are told that they tell you they're going to be there, right? Because he told you he's going to be there, right,
Yeah.
Alex? You told him he was going to be there, and he didn't show. See, that's what I mean by what I'm saying here. You can't always pre-book because, yes, sometimes it could be a good idea, but the downside of pre-booking is the factor that if you pre-book somebody and they don't show, you're fucked because you have to make last minute changes and it might ruin your superstar's morale as they're going to get pissed off at Shane's plans had to change for their entire match if they don't have a replacement is going to get scrapped entirely. But there's also the flaws of free booking. In case of people, leave or get tired of not, being utilized at the time they want to be utilized. They will leave and you got to get fucked over because you have to think of matches on the fly. And if you don't specialize in that, you're going to get fucked over. So there are flaws of many different materials, but at the same time, you can't always rely on open booking because not everybody that we have on the hybrid roster are worthy of, being trusted like that because they're not reliable to show up almost every week. That's why I believe, I'll make a compromise with you on this one. This is something that I believe should be done, right? Some of the matches should not be pre-booked. They should be open booked because of the factor in case if you do pre-book, right, and some of the people don't show, you have a whole lot of listers in the game that are not pre-booked, so you can free book them either in a match as a replacement or schedule or free book an entire different match with the person that was supposed to be matched but the other person didn't show for. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I can
it could
understand.
be a unacceptable. So your superstars don't have a low morale and are still being utilized the way they intend to be utilized. It's a win-win for everybody. They get their match, they're happy. You don't have to hear them go words. As if they don't turn into Alex Guevara and start bitching when they lose. But you get the point. It's kind of a fair trade off if you think about it.
Yeah, but you know, um, when it comes to booking things on the fly, I'm used to booking pre-books simply because I don't like to book on the fly, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because whenever I was booking on the fly, shit did not make sense. So yeah, this is why I've decided to pre-book most of the things that I'm doing, simply because whenever I'm trying to open book things, it's never gonna have any sense. If they don't have like previous experience or a previous storyline that they were in hybrid or something like that, it's not gonna make sense. It's just gonna be a filler match.